Australian GP qualifying. Charles Leclerc beats Max Verstappen to pole for Ferrari, Mercedes improve. Charles Leclerc on pole, 0.286s clear of Max Verstappen. Lando Norris fourth ahead of Mercedes Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Fernando Alonso crashes in Q3. Lance Stroll and Nicholas Latifi collide in Q1. Watch Sunday's race live on Sunday at 6 a.m. on Sky Sports F1. Championship leader Charles Leclerc will start on pole for the Australian Grand Prix after outpacing 2022 rival Max Verstappen with his final lap of an exciting Melbourne qualifying that was disrupted by crashes. Leclerc left it late but posted a mighty 1:17.868 in the dying embers of Q3 to snatch pole from Verstappen, who finished almost 3/10 off the driver he has gone wheel to wheel within both races to start the season. Recommended. 1/5. Australian GP. Sebastian Vettel fined €5,000 after moped ride around Albert Park track. Read more. Recommended by. It feels great, said Leclerc, who now has 2 poles out of 3 this year. We were quite surprised by our pace. A frustrated Verstappen has complained of a lack of balance all weekend and felt that held him back again in qualifying, calling it a struggle and insisting, "There wasn't one lap where I have felt confident." The pair will go head-to-head again on the front row for Sunday's race, live on Sky Sports F1 at 6 a.m. Verstappen still beat Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez, while Lando Norris delivered a superb fourth for McLaren as the team put their early 2022 struggles behind them with both cars in the top 7. Final results from Australian GP qualifying. Live race day schedule on Sky Sports F1. Another team who found much-needed improvement were Mercedes. While still finishing 1 second off pole, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell managed 5th and 6th, lowly positions given Mercedes' F1 success of old but heady ones considering their form so far this weekend and this season. Carlos Sainz was surprisingly only 9th in the other Ferrari, caught out by the red flags that were brought out by Fernando Alonso in the second crash of Alonso, who looked to be in the battle for top positions and was on a stonking opening Q3 lap, agonizingly went off in the final sector in his Alpine to end his. Earlier in qualifying, there was a bizarre coming together as Nicholas Latifi and Lance Stroll crashed heavily in Q1. Latifi and Stroll were both on slow laps when they squabbled for position when trying to get out of the way of another car, with Stroll inadvertently turning into Thea Williams as he tried to pass. Both drivers blamed each other. That incident also had potential to have repercussions further up the grid, with Perez investigated for failing to slow for the double-waved yellows. Thought a Mexican was later cleared. Australian GP qualifying, top 10. 1. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari. 2. Max Verstappen, Red Bull. 3. Sergio Perez, Red Bull. 4. Lando Norris, McLaren. 5. Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes. 6. George Russell, Mercedes. 7. Daniel Ricciardo, McLaren. 8. Esteban Ocon, Alpine. 9. Carlos Sainz, Ferrari. 10. Fernando Alonso, Alpine. Leclerc shines again, Hamilton gets grip on Viper Merc. Heading into qualifying it looked like there could be a 4-team fight for pole, with Alpine and McLaren joining Ferrari and Red Bull in the battle at the front. Once the session began, however, the cream truly rose to the top. Red Bull looked to be in control with Verstappen and then Perez topping Q1 and Q2, but the Ferrari has always looked the more stable on track this weekend and it was Leclerc who once again delivered when it mattered most. The 0.286s margin to Verstappen was mainly built in the final 2 corners, and the pair will renew hostilities from the front on Sunday, with Red Bull having 2 against 1 versus Ferrari thanks to Sainz struggles. McLaren and Mercedes provided one of the biggest talking points of qualifying thanks to their return to form. From McLaren's end, they appear to have solved their brake issues and say the new high-speed Albert Park layout helped them, while Mercedes' third-row result is largely down to their drivers and quali setups. Mercedes have not brought upgrades this weekend, but both Hamilton and Russell, split by just a tenth, impressed, of the team got their underperforming W13 car. Into a better window despite the heavy porpoising. I feel like we extracted the most out of the car today, said Hamilton. The problem is when you push the car a little bit more, it's quite spiteful. It's like a viper, or a rattlesnake. Alfa Romeo and Haas meanwhile took steps back, both failing to reach Q3 for the first time this season, while Williams and Aston Martin endured miserable. Not only did their drivers Latifi and Stroll crash, but Alex Albon stopped on track after Q1 and the Williams driver was later excluded from qualifying. A Vera fuel sample. Sebastian Vettel, while able to get back on track after a P3 shunt, finished 18th and was handed a fine for pit lane speeding.